Welcome in to the MISL Weekend Preview. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by David Wagner as we look ahead to the final weekend of the MISL season, starting off on Saturday night at US Cellular Arena, where the Milwaukee Wave host the St. Louis Ambush. Now the Wave go into the weekend needing to win both games to claim the #1 seed. The Ambush, it's their final game of the regular season. Could they provide the surprise? Could they provide the shock in front of the Wave's home fans?
Yeah, it could be possible. Obviously, Milwaukee's been pretty solid at home last year, or this season, but they had a little blip last week. So coming in, I think they'll be motivated. You know, anytime that Keith Dozier gets a hold of his team, that they're going to be well up for it, especially given what's on the line this weekend. They need to come in, they need to win both games, and this will be huge. So it's going to be difficult for St. Louis coming in. I think they will have a point to prove to show that this season that they grew some. It was a tough year for them, but at the same time they did have some wins, and then some positive momentum going to next year will be good for them as well. But I think Milwaukee might be a little too much.
Well, Sunday afternoon we head up to the On Center in Syracuse as the Silver Knights host the Rochester Lancers. Now, in the standings, this game really doesn't mean too much, but this game always means a lot when these two teams face each other.
Yeah.
It was a little bit bad-tempered last time out. What should we be watching for as the Silver Knights get ready to make their first playoff appearance?
Sure, anytime you have that throughway rivalry between Rochester and Syracuse, it's going to be intense. You know, those two guys, both of those coaches and the teams, you know, they're not the biggest fans of each other, and they always go out and have hotly contested matches. So I think it's going to be a traditional game where it's going to be physical between them as well. You know, some goals in there as well. Usually some good goals when these guys play. But also, again, a must-win for Syracuse and want to take that positive momentum going into the playoffs. Now,
another heated rivalry also on Sunday afternoon as the Missouri Comets visit the Milwaukee Wave in what could be a potential playoff matchup in the semifinals. Missouri knows that if it goes in, knocks off the Wave for a second time in 2 weeks, it'll be facing the Wave in the semifinals. They would have won 4 out of 5 this season against Milwaukee. That's obviously a matchup they'd like. Is the pressure on the Wave here to win and give themselves a shot at the #1 seed and maybe a more favorable matchup with Syracuse?
Yeah, I think the pressure is definitely on the Wave this weekend. I mean, look, they lost to Missouri last week. Obviously, they got knocked out of them. They got knocked out of the playoffs by them last season, and then obviously they want to get a win this weekend to try to give themselves at least an opportunity to have that first seed. So I think all the pressure's on Milwaukee, and they're usually up for it, so we'll see how they play this weekend.
Well, we hope you join us for all of the action this weekend on YouTube. We hope you join us next Tuesday as we look back on the final weekend of the regular season. But until then, for David, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us.